From woo-woo to wow. Bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible
tangible.
This show will expand your mind.
Open your heart.
And make you say, wow. Aloha, everyone. How are you?
Welcome to Woo Woo to Wow.
And guess who this is? I'm Rev Dr. Rita.
And I am Rev Dr. Patrick.
Yes, and we're here with a very exciting episode. We want to talk about the magic of quantum thinking.
I love magic.
I know. Is it woo-woo or wow? The magic of quantum thinking. Is it woo-woo or wow?
That's our discussion.
I know. Well, the reason we picked this topic is because, well, for me, I'm going to let Patrick say it himself. But for me, I want people to have the best lives possible. And I want myself to have the best life possible, first of all, right? So as I've been introduced to quantum physics and gotten myself out of this linear kind of thinking and opened up to more expansive thinking, it has changed my life. And I just want to share that. That's why I picked this topic. Yeah, what about you?
Well, I think that just the whole idea of magic is something to talk about there, right? I don't know what everyone else's definition of magic would be. I mean, mine is something that's unexplainable sometimes, right? I don't know how they did that. Oh my gosh, how did they do that? Oh, how did they do that? And so for me, I like the whole idea of magic because I think that magic, kind of like miracles, or as I like to call them, normicals, is that I think we have a lot more power than we're actually using. And as a matter of fact, I know we do. I mean, it's scientific. We hear it over and over from Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton and everyone, Joe Dispenza, the whole crowd, ourselves, that we're only using 95% of our power. And so I am on a mission, and I would like all of you
That figure was wrong. No,
What?
we're using 95% of our power.
We're not using 95. Bring that back in.
Okay.
Go
I
ahead.
gotta correct you.
Correct me.
No, it's okay.
So what is the 95% that I never like?
The 95% is our subconscious is acting out.
Right.
And we know sometimes we're not aware of that.
And that means that we're only using 5% of. But I'd like to say something about that. And thank you so much for jumping in there, because everyone would be writing me and saying, that's not true. We don't, if we use 95%, we wouldn't need a podcast if we were using 95%. But here's the other thing. Those are still just statistics.
True.
And those are still just people's opinions. And yes, that is true. Scientifically, there is proof behind it. But how long am I going to live with the idea that I'm only using 5%? That's why it always bothered me. I was thinking of it the other way. It bothered me because I don't want to be told that I can only use 5%. There's that other 95%, and a lot of people call it magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people call it miracles. But the more and more that I have dived into quantum physics and more that I use that field, knowing that that's who I am, I know that I have the opportunity to take that 5% and change it to a much higher percentage.
Right. And I think percent, it's like statistics. How do we know that everybody's using 5%? But I think they're just trying to warn us to say that, our subconscious is very powerful. But we're not going to talk about the subconscious today. Let's talk about this idea of the magic of quantum thinking. So in the world of thinking, like in cause and effect, we go, okay, we do this and then this happens. But quantum physics is more than that. So there's three principles we're going to talk about. One of them is the idea of the unknown, being in the unknown.
Right.
The other one is the idea that you're in the unknown and uncertainty. It's also uncertainty, like you don't know what's going to happen in every moment. And that is a really good thing. And then the other one is that in that moment, in that place of uncertainty and the unknown, there is unlimited potential of what could happen, right? If we focus our attention. And then the other one is because we're all entangled,
right?
That's what makes everything happen, all the synchronicities and all that stuff. So what does it mean? What is being in the unknown mean to you?
Well, it used to mean something scary, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right, it used to mean, and I like this because it's mostly important. It's really important that we also discuss the way we used to feel about it as well. Like I used to think of the unknown as something scary, something you couldn't depend on, something that like anything could happen. You're not so, and it made me at a younger age not want to take risks or chances because it was unknown. Now I'm discovering that the mystery of the unknown, and especially in quantum, because we're talking about the magic of quantum physics and quantum, just the whole idea of the quantum field, the actual the actual idea of something being unknown is actually good for us because it is where the unknown is that all of the miracles exist, all the magic exists, because that is the place where it knows no time, no space, doesn't have percentages, and doesn't have quotes like 5% that you can use. It has no percentages because it is everything
Yeah.
seen and
And
unseen.
also, I just was thinking of this,
So
is that
we're getting excited.
yeah, we are. So the unknown means that you're not like relegated to what is, like,
Right,
or you're not relegated to the past or what you see in front of you. You're totally in a space, a liminal space of what could happen here. Something great could happen. Like, why would I just limit myself by what's happened in the past or what I'm looking at right in front of me? The unknown, like, lets go of all that and
right,
allows you to step into a place of possibility, unlimited
exactly.
possibility. So I know Joe Dispenza uses that a lot when he does his meditations. One of the first things he does after breathing with you is takes you into letting yourself let go and be in the unknown. And it's not easy to do that. I think it takes practice. I know when I'm meditating, I don't always get there. Like I do my best to get there, but I don't always get there. I feel the thoughts going through my head and what's happening today and what bills do I have to pay and all that kind of stuff. But when I do get there, then that's when my creativity just lights up and my imagination and all the possibilities that if I'm confronting an issue, all the possibilities for working through that issue in the unknown instead of relegated to what I dealt
Right.
with before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah. So what about you?
You wouldn't have said it if it
You
hadn't
wrote
been
something
said.
down.
I did write something down because sometimes when she speaks, I like to write it down. So by the time she doesn't speak and I don't speak,
I feel
we
the same way
remember.
about you,
Exactly,
Bernie.
right? No, I'm just saying that way I can remember. But anyway, back to where we are. I like this. This is very free flowing today. But in science of mind, we have a thing called secondary cause. And why I say that is why it's so important to jump into the unknown and into the quantum field, which is right where we are anyway, is because most of the things that we're trying to solve, most of the things in our life that we have such problems, we all get together with friends and we discuss the first thing that comes up is, so how are your problems? I mean, how is your life? And that is what we do. But now we have a thing called secondary cause, and that means that when I go to solve a so-called problem, that I'm using what I did from the past in order to solve and have a solution, solve the quote problem. Well, why that doesn't work is where that's secondary cause where we want to work from is first cause, which would be what we're talking about
Right, right,
in the field, where I go, what new perspective can I have on this? Because the ones if it worked before, then you can use it. But most of the time, it doesn't work before and it stops us.
right. I was just thinking of doctors. Not
Hmm.
that I'm against doctors, I go to doctor myself, but they deal a lot in statistics,
Absolutely.
which is definitely not the unknown. It's based on past. Like they'll tell you, like, oh, you're 70 years old now, so therefore this, and this is going to happen to you according to statistics. Well, who knows? Who says? I'm different than the average person my age,
Absolutely.
right? And
Absolutely.
so I have to be in the unknown and be able to create the person I want to create. Like for instance, I'm working on my body right now, and you're told like after you get a certain age, your weight's going to be gaining, and you're going to be this weight, and this health problem's going to happen, and blah 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 blah. That's certainly not being in the unknown. That's what you're talking about,
Right.
secondary causation. And then people start to tell you that, or a doctor or somebody in authority, and then what happens? You start to believe it, and it goes into your subconscious, and then you act it out. So, no, statistics, no. I don't think that, I mean, I think it's a tendency, and there's always a tendency, but it's not being in the unknown. And the
Right.
quantum field, and when we talk about the quantum field, just so you know, in case you're not familiar with it, we're talking about energy. We're talking about God. We're talking about source. We're talking about an energy that is creating from itself, continually creating according to what we think, what we, what we believe, what we think, what we feel, especially because it's very vibratory. But it's the new way of thinking, and plenty of
It's
people are
actually
doing
not,
it.
excuse
No,
me,
it's
but
not
not
that new.
new.
You're right. You're right. You're right. It's not that new. It's not new at all. It's ancient. They
Right.
just didn't call it quantum
Right.
field. So,
And we've been resisting it that long too. So
right.
now what's happening is everyone's clinging on to this thing called quantum, the quantum this, the quantum that. But what's important is that we don't just make it a catchphrase, like, oh, the quantum. And I was doing that for a moment when I started really attaching myself, really entangling, which we're going to get into. But something I do want to bring up about um, traps that we get in, not only by lingo or we learn something new, so everybody starts using that name. It was the same way with science of mind. We start change your thinking, change your life. Well, then everyone says that, but we got it from science of mind. But
And it's before that
as
even.
before that, I want to talk just a moment, just jump into this thing that I've been working on. And as a scientist, I'm a metaphysician. I call myself a metaphysician. I also call myself a quantum activist. And the reason what I've been working on lately, and the reason I call myself that is because I've been analyzing and really experimenting with this trap that we get ourselves into with the five senses.
Okay.
Do we know our five senses? Sense of
You
smell,
can remember
sense of
touch,
touch, taste,
hearing,
hearing,
and
and
sight.
sight.
Right.
So, okay, let's just play with those. That's what we have. Those are our five senses. So what I've been thinking lately, and that's in the area of medical too, is are we solving things with just the five senses? Are we?
Well,
Are
we are.
we just solving it
I
like
think a lot of
like
times we are.
no, my finger, Rita, it's cut. Get a band-aid, get a thing, get it. All of that, and that's fine, right? Because we live in the 3D world, which is a world of conditions. We live here, our body is here. I understand that. But I want to take it further. We have more than five senses.
Well, our body is energy anyway.
Exactly. Energy. It's no percentage, it's everything, 100% energy. And so, why the five senses? I see everyone solving everything from problems with their marriage, problems with their jobs, all of the things that are going on in their lives. But they're solving it from what do I actually see? And sometimes it's the things we don't see, which brings in the unknown, that brings us to the unlimited part of who we are. And that happens a lot in medical, especially. I mean, look at Anita Marjoni.
Oh my God.
She's a
If you
great.
don't know her,
Please look
yeah,
her
well,
up.
please look her up. I
She
can't think
had
of the name of her book now, though. I went. Anyway, Anita Morjani.
Marjoni, and it's and
Morjani. Morjani.
I bring her up only because she had, she had her near death, not near death. She died and then came back, but she didn't actually die. Her body didn't
Well,
die.
she had tumors. She had
Tumors
cancer.
everywhere. She had cancer. She had everything. But statistics would have said, and they did, your body's shutting down. Goodbye. Was that cut across? And then a lot of times that is how it is. We're built that way with the physical to break down and then transcend to something else, depending on your beliefs. But I've been really seeing this five senses in her. She came back. Now she's, on the
Well, she
circuit.
healed. She
She
went into
healed
the
her.
quantum field, talk
Right.
about it,
There you go.
where there is no time or space, there is no death, there is no life. I mean, it's all life. And she went into that field and she was able to heal herself by healing her emotional past, basically, is the
So
gist of the story.
she just
And
didn't take just the fact that she was in this situation. I'm taking it even to today's situation, wherever you are in your life that's tuning into this. If we only use our five senses, we will only be able to get a limited amount of success. Oh yes, we did this, we healed that, we had a, hip surgery and all of that. Everything's fine. All of that's fine. But when we're dealing, for me now, I have to go to my intuitive sense. and we've talked about intuitive before on this show, the one that knows what it knows. And I think that we do not, I don't think, I know we do not give ourselves the credit of what we really are made of. We are made of energy that transmutes anything. We're the alchemists. And it's very exciting.
Well, our cells in our body aren't even the same as they were when we started this podcast.
Absolutely.
You know, I always say that to like when people get sick or they have something happen, I go, well, it wasn't there
Right.
last month, but it's there now. So why would it have to be stay here?
Right.
If it just appeared, then it can just as well disappear. And that's not magic.
Mm-mm.
And that's the other thing I want to say, Patrick, is that what's magical about this, because we called it the magic of quantum thinking, is because when we put these principles to practice, it feels like magic, but
Right.
it really isn't. It's scientific. And because we're not just poofing things into
Mm-mm.
existence, we are thinking and feeling things into existence.
And
And then
believing
and
things.
believing things, yeah, and especially feeling, because we have to remember it's a vibratory universe. So
So, yeah.
yeah, so go back to your senses. I'm
No, I
sorry to
just said,
interrupt you.
no, you didn't just keep interrupting. It's fine. I'm just saying that this is kind of not new for me, but I used to call it from a metaphysical or a religious, spiritual point of view. I said we always honor those five false gods, and that's our five senses. We honor it like it's the only thing, like we can't change it. Like that's just what I see. I'm looking out there, but it's,
And yet they're important
yes,
for moving ourselves around this 3D world. Our five
absolutely.
senses are necessary, or we get hit by a car, or we would eat something that,
Right.
wasn't good for us, or, so they're important, but they're
The,
not important in manifesting. That's what we're
well,
saying,
that's what we're
right?
talking about.
Right.
And it's not about important.
Well,
It's about,
useful.
they're very useful, but I'm saying there's more. That's all my
Right.
point is. There's more than the five senses. We have more than we could even imagine. And that's why they say, are you living in the 3D or the 5D? And I'm not too big on labels and numbers, and it doesn't matter. Are you living in the limited or are you living in the unlimited? That's all I look at my life. When I go, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know how to really solve this. Yes, I do. I may not be able to do it, but that's what I know we're not alone because I can just tune in to my intuitive power, just like I plug the light into, the cord in and then plug it in and it lights up the room. Oh my gosh, that's how I feel like I am grateful for the five senses. That's what puts you and I right here, and you staring at us or wherever you are. That's it. So I'm very excited about taking my life from my five senses to all of my senses and living my life in a very, very
So what are you thinking
unlimited,
of it? What are you calling your other senses? Like your intuitive sense, your
intuitive, psychic,
psychic,
the thing that the place, my God
clairvoyant,
sense, my God senses
right?
that knows everything that's seen and the unseen. Right now, there's a place that's called in the quantum field where there is no time and no
Mm.
space,
Right. Well, there
right?
isn't any time and space. We need
So
enough time and space because we
we
need to get
because
through
we
the
have
world
five
because we have five
senses.
senses.
So
But in reality, there isn't. Haven't you even noticed? Like sometimes time is going so fast and sometimes it's going so slow. What's that about? We have a clock we look at, but sometimes when we're really like, I know for myself, like if I'm writing or doing something creative like that, I don't even recognize the time.
right,
So where did it go? It's because we live in a timeless universe. It's timeless. And once we get out, like you said, the more we can move into the unknown and out of the five senses and into the idea, which is the second quantum principle, unlimited potential, then anything's possible.
right.
Um, I remember we were having a financial problem with the center, and I kept trying to go back and solve it. And then all of a sudden, it was like, you're not thinking big enough. You keep going back to solving it this way. And there's so many other possibilities. That's why also like in this teaching, we talk about, not anchoring our good to a specific person, place, or thing.
Right.
That our good is open to everything and everyone. It's universal. So, which brings me to entanglement. So, what about that?
Well, the entanglement I've been using it. We're both practitioners. And practitioners just means to be anything in the medical world. They're practitioners, right?
Right.
That work. There's doctors
We're metaphysical
and
practice.
so we're metaphysical
Yeah.
practitioners. So I have been using entanglement a lot because all we do in our treatment work is we have we have 5 steps as well, right? And so what we do is we recognize who we are. We not only entangle, but we announce that that is who we are as well. We are not only a part of this great thing called this energy field, quantum field, God, whatever name. I get a little uneasy with labels
Yeah,
because
God's a
people,
hard word for people.
God's a hard word, but it's basically the all that is all, and that's who I am. And
And
then
you are.
and it's from that and from we are, I am the I am that I am. So what that is that that energy, then we go over and that means that if I'm this power, if I'm not just using five, but I'm using 100% of who I am, then that means I have the power to be able to manifest and declare, as it were, to bring into being, to become the very thing that I desire. And then with that, we are so grateful, and then we release it and we let it go. I just want you to know that in case I can already hear you going, what is science of mind? What are the 5 steps? But these steps are that take us into entanglement. So I now in my sessions, instead of just saying, this is what I know about you. Because when you come to us in a session, for instance, you have a problem or what's called a problem, and you can't solve it in your own mind. So you go to someone else, not to solve it for you, but to help you
To
understand,
ask the right
to
questions
ask the
so
right
you can come to
questions.
your own conclusions.
But now, when I'm doing treatment work, which is moving energy in a direction of absolute purpose, and it's the purpose of whatever it is that is wanting to be known and to be pulled into demonstration, I entangle now. And
Mm.
what that means is that entanglement in quantum is that you're observing something, I'm observing, but until you actually entangle it and what drop into that,
And that's just a shift in
just
consciousness,
a shift in
right?
consciousness.
That's why healing is non-local. And you can ask any practitioner of any healing modality,
Absolutely.
and they will tell you that it's non-local, which means you don't even have to be in the room with
No.
the person because of this idea of entanglement and how we're all in this one mind, this one energy, this one source, this one field
And I do that,
together.
I do that treatments on Facebook when I do, and you do them as well. I always say not only about the distance, but that I am the very breath that's breathing that person that's watching as well. And so that's how entangled we are. Now we're individual, which is why we like being individual, so we have our own expression, but
Right.
and yet um, we just know that we're always entangled, which makes it really kind of scary, but can be scary to a lot of people because they don't get it. And I don't mean I become you and you become me, but we are all in the same field. And so that means that when I speak my word and put that out for you and whatever's going on in your life, that I know that 100%, even if you only know it a certain percentage.
Yeah, and then if you're receptive to that, there's the information's been changed in the quantum field by your stating that and feeling that and knowing that with certainty.
Right.
And then if the person is receptive to it, then they can have that change also because we're all here together,
Right.
like you said.
And,
So
and we're trying to jump in today. I think I'm getting a little heady with it,
yeah,
but not to people that maybe understand it. But let's just get practical because we're a practical
right, right.
spirituality. How do you just use it on a day,
Well,
taking your kids to
what
school
I
and that,
thought is like, what if you just tried this? What if you had an intention of some
right,
kind and really felt it strongly, something that you want in your life, something that's been on your mind for a while, something in your heart, this something, right? And that you stated that intention with clarity and, you contemplated it and meditated on it and just allowed yourself to really feel it. And then you go out into the world and you look, instead of looking for why it's not there, you look for all the synchronicities
mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
what's showing up for you. Because, and then just practice it, do it for 21 days. Just really every morning, just think of that intention and feel it and live it and breathe it. And then go out in the world and look for the synchronicities because they will show up and then bless them and use them and utilize them. Uh, but sometimes so much, I think people, when they're trying to manifest something, they think of it and they feel it and all of that, and then they go out and they see one thing that's not it,
Right.
and then they crash themselves, and then that just neutralizes it.
Right.
But if we were to just be a little disciplined with it, and you might want to start with something little, so not something that's so important to you,
Right.
something little like that you want to manifest, and allow yourself to just go out and look for the synchronicities once you focus your attention. Does that make sense?
Well, it's called, law of, the law of attraction for a
Right.
reason, because attraction means that you're attracting it, becoming it, attracting. I'm so sure of that everywhere I go, this energy is working to bring that in, opposed to reaching out and where is it? And that's what gets us confused and gets us filled with doubt, I believe, is that I think we're pushing too hard.
Well, that's
And
true
if
too.
and you think we're pushing too hard in the regular five senses and in the 3D world, we're pushing hard in the metaphysical world too. It's like I think harder, mantras, affirmations, and basically, if we're what we're talking about right now, this incredible field, this quantum field, this magical, miraculous field, then what would be desperate about that? That would just be,
Well,
oh,
it'd be
I
a great
require,
adventure
it'd be a great
experiment.
adventure.
That's what I'm going to invite, because we need to close down now. Wrap it up. But I'm inviting us to just experiment with it. Just be a scientist, read about it, learn about it, listen to us, listen to other podcasts, and just experiment with it instead of getting stuck, like Patrick said, in your five senses and thinking that's the only reality. I think we need a lot of that right now, given what's going on in the world.
Right.
Which brings me to our next episode, because I was thinking about it as we were talking, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to discuss, because I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts by Dolores Cannon and Edgar Casey and all these different people, if we could discuss about how our quantum thinking, how our wow thinking could help us with the state that the world is in right now. So I don't have a title for it yet, but a discussion about that, how it could help us, like, to really look at the reality of what's happening in the world. Because some people have their head in the sand, but I don't think a lot of us do. If we're just aware, we know that we're living through a very traumatic time right now, not just in the United States, but all over the whole world, and we're being affected by it. But what could our quantum thinking and our wow thinking, how could it assist us during this? And I think that would be a really good topic of conversation, wouldn't you?
Right. And
next time?
I think that's a great idea, because that way we could actually practice it till we meet again. But one thing I do want to bring up that you and I were talking about before is about this whole idea of woo woo to wow wow. And we've discussed it before, but a lot of people, when people get afraid, this has been my experience, when people get afraid or they don't understand something, they go, oh, that's just woo woo. I love you. I always put I love you first. I love you, but that's lazy thinking.
Well, it's because they haven't tried it.
Right. That's why it's lazy thinking. It's woo woo to people that, or to only look at the scientific, which is true, because scientific and metaphysical, they are all scientific and it's all metaphysical. But to just, what we used to call it, they just poo-pooed it. Now they just woo-woo it.
Right.
And so what that is that instead of saying, because I would rather live in, to me, it is my exploration, Patrick's exploration of the woo-woo, of that unknown, of that, imagination, that imaginative world of what could be, all of those exciting childlike wonders, is the thing that has brought me to my wow. Right? So let's just throw the woo-woo out the door and get to your wow.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yes,
and
look at us all filled with
I know, I'm
woo,
so excited
wow.
about this, and I'm going to go practice myself even more. I do, but so remember that we would love for you to share this information by sharing us, liking us, and subscribing, so we can get our word and our wow out into the world in a greater way. And help people, because that's what we're here for, right, Patrick?
Especially in times like this, we have to remind each other that we are wow beings.
Yeah.
We are wow, that life can be wow no matter what's happening. So just remember one thing.
What?
You are magnificent.
So aloha till next time. Aloha.
Aloha. From woo woo to wow wow. bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible
tangible.
This show will expand your mind,
open your heart,
and make you say, wow!